Do you wanna know what is possibly the best and strongest KVK 1 March and how can you easily obtain it? Well, then you're in the right video, on the right spot especially. But before we start, what's up going guys? My name is Nico and I welcome you yet to another video. Today video we are gonna take a look at possibly the best, really the best KVK 1 March everybody should have if you want to be really competitively strong. Now, spoiler alert, there are several marches I'm gonna talk about today, but the best possible march I would cover it as first. So what is the first and strongest KVK 1 march? Well, it's obviously Minamoto up in front, at least on level 55, because of all the talents you will unlock with him. For everybody who's asking, this is the talent tree I'm using right now, and I'm gonna push for this one maybe till Undying Fury if it goes well. And if you ask me or everybody else, what is the secondary commander using with Minamoto, it's not Jean Arc, it's not Ethelflaed, it's not Lohar, it's not Mulan. Well, who else could it be? It's not even Cao Cao. As for here, no. Those are good commanders, good secondary commanders, but they are not the strongest KVK 1 March. In fact, it is the Mehmet. And why is the Mehmet the strongest secondary commander to our good old friend Minamoto? Well, it's really simple. First of all, his first skill is an AoE damage skill. It will deal around 1000 damage to everybody, to 5 enemy troops, which is good, not bad at all. But what really is important for our Minamoto is that skill damage bonus. Minamoto is a single target damage dealer. Deals around 1400 damage and sometimes has the chance to do another 600 damage, which is a lot, like really a lot, especially if you build your talents with rejuvenate. You will get that rage for that skill, and you will get so much rage that you will constantly pop his active skill, which is around 1400 damage, sometimes even more. But what's really strong about Mehmet is just from unlocking this skill, you will get around 10 skill damage bonus. 8, I'm sorry, I can't read, unfortunately. No, I'm sorry. 8% skill damage bonus, which is around, I think that's, which is it? It's a lot. It's more, I think it's 200. Is it 200? I think it's 200, but as it continues, it will get up to 20% skill damage, which is, well, 10, so that should be around 300, is it right? 300, 400, 300 up to 400 skill damage bonus, and that is really strong. Like, you will constantly do those 400 damage factor, plus additional 600 sometimes once you've hit the enemy target, right? And then additionally to that, you will do another 400 damage or 350 damage, which is so strong. And really, Mehmet also has that talent with rejuvenate, so you will activate Minamoto's skill way more often, and it will really help you a lot. And what's really popping good is also the AoE, which you can see here. So you will have a little AoE damage, which is really good. What would I recommend you to go for in Mehmet? I would definitely recommend you to go for Feral Nature, and especially for Rejuvenate. I think that's around 41, level 41, maybe level 42. So till level 42, and go for 5-5-1-1. Now I know this is something you have to invest in, because unfortunately Minamoto is not for free, and you want to go for Minamoto. The least amount you have to invest into Minamoto in order for him to be strong is 5 511. I know I've got a 2 because I was unlucky with getting this talent, and I will expertise him. But is it necessary? No, I don't think so. You don't necessarily have to expertise Minamoto, but you definitely need those first 2 skills to be at 5, so you will get almost the maximum value out of him. Well, that would be covering the absolutely strongest March, and I would say a lot of guys, I think almost everybody has unlocked the Minamoto. It's like it's a champion you will use even in the late game, and especially after you have unlocked Mehmet's and Minamoto's museum buff, which I don't have because this is a relatively new account. You will see there is even more skill damage, which is like super huge on Mehmet, and on Minamoto you will have some buffs too. I'm not quite sure what right now. I think it's health and attack for cavalry, so like also really amazing and strong for Minamoto. So this pair will suit you well up until KVK 3, and trust me, this pair will be so strong. It's way stronger than having Saladin paired. It's stronger than any other cavalry commander up until KVK 3. Then there will also be like stronger commanders like Nevsky, Hu Jobing, and Joan of Arc, so Prime. So those will be definitely the guys you have to go for. But up until KVK 3, which is like the first 250 days, you just need to use Minamoto and your Mehmet, and that would be like the absolutely strongest March you can go, which is absolutely amazing. Well, if you're a free-to-play player, I understand that some guys don't want to spend at all into this game. And what would I recommend you to go if you're a free-to-play player? For KVK 1, I would definitely recommend you to go with Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu is an epic commander. You will level him up pretty fastly. As you can see, I have him on level 47, and I'm like not leveling him up at all. So everything, as you can see, is through Lohar, and okay, I've invested a little bit into him, but not that much. So yeah, it's the Sun Tzu will suit you as your infantry commander, and you will deal a lot of damage, especially because of his skill. Then because he has some AoE, then okay, this skill is useless, but infantry health bonus, which is good, some skill damage bonus, which is really good, and then of course the expertise deals additional damage if I'm correct. So really you want Sun Tzu to be your main infantry commander, and you can pair him with 2 commanders, which I would recommend. First of all, Ethelflaed. Ethelflaed in general is absolutely amazing. There is nothing, nobody can say anything bad about Ethelflaed. The Ethelflaed is super amazing, super strong. I would push her to level 40. You don't have to go past that. What you really want is the 5, at least 3. In my case, I have a 4, and I'm really close to getting her to 5. So 5, 5, 1, 1. Don't have to push her past that, or don't sweat it, because those 2 things are not that important. I mean, yes, attack bonus is not bad, but and rallied army unit capacity is not that bad at all. Is it important? I don't think so. What you really want is the expertise, because you will you will deal more damage to slowed enemies, which is really strong. But yeah, those first 2 skills are really important on the Ethelflaed, and you really want that. And as second pair, what you can use with the Sun Tzu is Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc, if you expertise her, as you can see, you will get infantry units gain 30% health bonus. I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but 30% health bonus for 4 seconds. This is like really this is so big. And of course you will get some extra rage percent bonus, which is also really good. Then you have some normal damage bonus and a healing factor, which is really good. I know a lot of guys tend to use Charles Martel, but in my opinion, Charles Martel should be used as primary. I don't see Charles Martel as a secondary commander. You can use Charles Martel paired with Sun Tzu, and Sun Tzu would be the secondary, but do I recommend that? Only if you're a tank, and if you're based on tanking, and only if you have your Charles Martel like 5/5. Let's say maybe 1 and then at least 2 or 3, so you have more counter attack damage. Charles Martel is really important and is a really good one, and you will use him in the late game, but in KVK1 he's cool, he's good to have, but you have to have at least his first skill really up in order for him to work. And I would more recommend and tend to go for Sun Tzu in the KVK1. In KVK2, yes, sure, go for Charles, he's really awesome in there, but in KVK1 use Sun Tzu. I know a lot of guys are using Richard I. I'm also thinking of using Richard I as a main infantry commander, but just because I have a really huge damage dealer in Minamoto and I want some tanks. I got a tank in Charles Martel, so I will probably use Charles Martel and secondary Sun Tzu because I have my Charles first skill at 5. And of course I will use my Richard because I also have his first skill at 5, and pairing him with Adelflaed. Richard first is a really good commander in KVK1, but in order for him to work you have to have him at least on level 50, and you have to have his first skill at level 5. Up until then, don't use Richard I, he won't be good at all if you don't have his first skill at 5 and if you don't have him at least on level 50. Pairing him with Adelflaed is always a good one. I think in the first 3 or 4 years it was the absolute meta for the KVK1 and maybe even KVK2. Right now a lot of people tend to go for Sun Tzu, and I understand that, but if you want a damage dealer, you have a Minamoto. If you want to have a damage dealer in infantry, you will have Sun Tzu. Richard I and Charles Martel are mainly and just for tanking. They won't do any huge damage. Don't count them as damage dealers. Those are really just and only tanks. They are good at what they are good, but those are tanks. They are not meant to do a lot of damage. And now that we have covered the infantries, let's look at some archers. I know a lot of people love I don't have him unlocked yet, but the YSG. But do I really recommend to go for a YSG? No. In my opinion, we have Tutmosis, which is way stronger, and I really mean it. Tutmosis, in my opinion, is way stronger than YSG. Why? Because the healing reduction, you will see a lot of Richard I players in KVK1, and Tutmosis has a healing reduction. What is Richard I known for? Well, healing factor, and another healing bonus. What does his first skill absolutely do? Well, a lot of damage to free troops and healing reduction, 30% healing reduction against a Richard. Absolutely amazing. So you have an archer that does an AoE damage and also destroys Richard, and you will see a lot of Richard players in KVK1. So for archers, I would definitely recommend you to go for Tutmosis, but don't invest any golden sculptures into him. He's a gold key commander. You will get him, you will unlock him eventually. He's also, of course, he's free to play. I was lucky to have his first skill at 5, but in order for him to be absolutely at his peak, you have to have 5/5, then you can go 1/1. For the third and the fourth skill are cool, it's okay, but the first 2 skills are what you really have to have at him, because archer attack bonus, damage bonus, archer march speed bonus, really huge. And what do you want to pair Tutmosis with? Well, I have mentioned her at least several times. The Mulan is, I think it's the best support commander in the game. The first March speed bonus, attack, defense, and health bonus, sorry, is that's a ton of stats. I mean, if you have her first skill at least on 3 or 4, you will get 15 up to 20 March speed bonus, which for archers is always really important. The second skill, I'm sorry, I was kind of misthinking. Damage reduction and rage reduction. I mean, she is so strong and she's so underrated. The third skill, ignore it. This is just getting XPs from barbs, and then you all have another attack bonus and damage taken increase. She's such a good support commander. She also has the support tree, so definitely pair Tutmosis with Mulan. I know a lot of people tend to use Tutmosis and pair him with YSG, of course, or Boudica, or a lot of players tend to pair him with the Imhotep. Imhotep is a good one. You can definitely pair him with that. But I don't recommend in general Imhotep. The only purple commanders that I do recommend is Sun Tzu, as he's the best epic commander. The Joan of Arc, as she's a really strong support and her expertise is like absolutely huge. Lohar, you will get him for free. Never ever invest into Lohar. Belisarius, you can, if you're lucky and you have his few skills, then probably for barb chaining because of his mobility tree. And Bjorn is okay, he's a strong infantry. Boudica is okay. Scipio is really bad. That's a gathering commander. The Mundok is not good at all. Pelagius is not good. Osman is a really interesting one, but in order for him to work, you have to work on him from the beginning. The Pericles is okay. Matilda is a gathering commander. Baibars is the option if you don't want to play Minamoto. Go for Baibars. Baibars as a cavalry is the second best cavalry in the game till KVK 1 and till KVK 2. Then there is Saladin, that he outscales Baibars, but Baibars is really good because he has AoE damage and some March speed, I think. Yeah, no, not here. Yeah, here you go, some March speed. So Baibars is really strong, has AoE, and is an epic, so he's pretty much free to obtain. But if you have Minamoto, definitely go for Minamoto. He outscales Baibars in every single category. So yeah. Anyways, guys, this would be it. So the first and the best and strongest March in KVK1 is and will always be the Minamoto paired with Mehmet, because this synergy in there is so amazing. Skill damage bonus and a lot of skill damage, and from Mehmet also some AoE, which is always really good. Anyways, this is it with the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. A lot of guys watch my videos and they don't subscribe, so please subscribe to the channel. It will really help the channel to grow, and I'm looking forward to see you in another video. Goodbye.